Good evening, everybody. How's it going? Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Back to the 8 o'clock again. Last week we did 9 o'clock because I was getting back a little late from an op session. Back to the 8 o'clock again. Let me just. 9 o'clock. And so come back to the 8 o'clock. Little I guess little miscommunication. Paul's on at the same time right now, but that's fine. If you're here with me, that's great. If you join me later, that's fine. If you're with Paul, Paul's got a good thing going on with his. He's doing a kit bash, I think, with an engine. I'm sure. I think. Anyway, we're here. So let's see where are we at. Make sure am I live? I am live. Let's check the screen here. All right. Well, it's me and Steve right now. Hey, Steve. How's it going, buddy? Hope you had a good week. Got to show you the two figures I was working on. I was going to show you Tuesday night, but I could show you tonight. I think I got to put a couple more little coats of wash on it, maybe. I did a filter. I did a MiG filter on it, and I think it came out pretty good. But I still might go back with a little bit of the black wash on the figures. Anyway, it's yeah, it was a cold. I'm sure it's more cold up by you, even by us. Oh my God, it's tomorrow we're getting our first snow, I think, overnight, 2 to 5 inches, and it's gonna be pretty cold. It's been in this week was a little bit. It warmed up a little bit. It was cold last week. It went up to the 40s, but it's dropping tonight, and it's gonna be rain turning to snow, and then it's gonna be in the teens a good part of next week. It looks like so. We'll see what happens. It's winter time. What do we expect, right? John, how you doing, John? We got Steve. We got John. And let's see, what do we got going on this week? So I've had a couple things come in. Well, actually, one thing came in. I've been waiting for forever, and it was just something with the Canadian Post not playing well with U.S. Postal Service, and I finally got my order in from Dan Notley from Yelton Models, and it's these yard cab for what do you call it? It's a yard cab that was used in the New York Central Yards for the trailer, not trailer train. What is it? The flexi van service. And this is a very peculiar looking tractor, yard tractor. It's got the the fifth wheel on there, but it's got this little protruding rod coming out the front. And if you look on the back, I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a hole here that a pole's going to go in. So there's a pole that comes with the kit. In fact, this is two pieces. This is the removable bogie for the back that the container or chassis rolls off of onto the flatbed onto the flat car. And there is a little pole here that's taped here. I haven't freed this up from the screws yet from the supports from the 3D print. I cleaned this one out, and it's even got the front wheel. Will come down. It goes back up. That's for tight turning in tight spaces when they're trying to maneuver the container. Well, I want to call it a container because really it's a trailer, but the wheel's detached, so it's kind of like an early container. And his wheel popped down, and it would just swivel the truck on a swivel, 360 degrees. I got to figure out how to get that to stay in there. I got to talk to Dan about it. I got a little project going on. It's going to be a diorama I want to bring to the next, not the next RPM. Next RPM I'm going to is in March, but to NERPM up in Massachusetts, first weekend in June. I'm hoping to have a diorama set up with this tractor. I bought two of these tractors, and I have some of the trailers, and I'm going to work out what the diorama is going to be, but hoping to have that ready for there. So that's new this week. Trying to think, did I have anything else come in? I don't think I had anything else come in. So yeah, so trying to go a little light on spending money because it's coming up to Christmas, and I had a bunch of grandkids I actually bought for, so I got to pay the bill at the end of the month for that. So a little bit of got to step back a little bit, you know. So, yeah, I think I showed you guys last week what I bought at the train show 2 weeks ago. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. So anyway, so enough of that. Let's get moving on for tonight. First off, I got tonight's beer. Tonight's beer from Unleaded Brewing, Unleaded. I keep saying it, Unleaded Beverage Company, my cousin's company. She doesn't brew it, but she has these different craft breweries that she distributes. And this one's from Well-Being Brewing Company. It's called a Victory Wheat. This was the one I was talking about last week. I said it was probiotics. It's not probiotics. It has electrolytes added to it. So electrolytes, not probiotics. And they advertise it as the world's healthiest beer. And you can see it right there. So I'm going to try this. Last week we tried their dark amber, which was pretty good. It tasted like a little bit towards an IPA, but not quite IPA. It was kind of hoppish. This is more like a wheat beer that you would find out of Germany. So let's give this a pour, give it a taste. This is my first time tasting it. I'll let you know how it is. There's a little bit more in this can than there is in the normal can, so I can't do a full can pour. So I'll leave a little bit in the can, and we'll give it a little taste. Let's see. Malted Gatorade. Yeah, right. That's a good one. Yeah, Gatorade with hops in it, right? Well, cheers, guys. My malted Gatorade, as John says. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody had a great week. And down the hatch. That's not bad. It's light and it's pretty crisp. It's got like a slightly fruity finish on it. Very good. It's got a nice color, clear. So it's definitely been filtered. So very good. Let's top this up with the rest of the beer, and we'll get started. Don't forget, I hope you guys don't mind that I push my cousin's business. She's trying to build it up. She ships all over the U.S. Cheers again. And she's offering a 10% discount to the viewers of my videos. So if you go to Unleaded Beverage Company, and she ships all over the U.S. Not sure about Canada. I'm not sure how that would work, especially with the whole tariff war going on. But all over the U.S., and you get 10% off. All you got to do is promo code Cousin Teddy. She calls me Cousin Teddy. So Cousin Teddy, it's capital C and capital T, and it's all one word. So Cousin Teddy to get 10% off your shipment of non-alcoholic beer or spirits or wine. All right, so I picked this up. This was at the Edison show, and I got this for a very good price. I'm trying to remember what I paid for it. It's a Tangent car. I think it was maybe $20. I'm not sure. It doesn't quite meet my era because it's got a build date of 1951. It looks like it's March of 1951. It's got the circle logo, and the circle logo was more towards it's like a wartime, World War II up into the mid 50s, I think. So I'm thinking by the late 60s, 70s, this would be gone. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this car. I'm going to weather it up. Maybe I'll sell it, or maybe I'll maybe backdate it or update it a little bit, or maybe I'll just weather it, a little bit more and say that it was kept this paint scheme until then. We'll see. I just thought it was a good price on the car, and Tangent cars. I love Tangent cars. It's probably my favorite model manufacturer right now is Tangent. They do great work, and they're reasonably priced, and they got good service too. So use a lot of their wheel sets and stuff. When I pop the wheels out of these cars and I change them over, I usually change them over to Tangent Code 88. So, all right, so obviously it's a Penzi car. Penzi kind of went with their own paint. You know, this could be considered almost like a boxcar brown, but it's got some reddish hues to it, so it's a little bit more towards a Tuscan. It's going to be Tuscan brown, Tuscan red, or a cross between them. So I do want to do a little bit of a light fade on it. So we're going to have to get the color wheel out and see how we can match this up. I was playing around with this a little bit before I started. And let's see. Just need a little hard to keep this on the side. So we'll look at, we could start with red and look at it. And I went to this window right here. And this is kind of like an orangish, brownish red. All right. So it doesn't quite match, but it's kind of almost on the same side, same hue. If we go over to here where we have the red violet, and if you're adding red, and that's this window here. So this was red with yellow added. This is red with, this is red violet with violet added to it. Red and violet added to it. And you can see that's a pretty close match. It's slightly darker. All right. Slightly darker. So we got to find a happy medium between here and here. And it's not really that big of a deal because we're doing a fade and we don't have to match it exactly. So this is telling us that we can add a little bit of maybe blue and red and yellow. Red and yellow, because red and yellow is going to make this, and we want to come a little slightly lighter than this, so we add the red and the red and violet. All right, plus a little bit of white, because again, we're the initial colors when we're going about when we want to we want to kind of like tone down the color before you start to do your fade. So you're going to need a lighter color like white or yellow or something like that to give it the fade, but you also have to tone down what you already got in the model before you do that. So, right. And just so you want to know, the opposite of this brown, if you want to go with the brown, you know, especially with that mixed in, it's going to be this yellow green. All right. So we know we can even add a little bit of green to that if we wanted to. But I'm going to go with the red, yellow, and white, and a little bit of violet. To get the violet, it's just going to be red and blue. I don't have a violet oil brusher, but I do have the red and blue. And if you remember from last week, this blue is a dark blue, and that dark blue has got a little bit of a purplish hue to it. Right? That dark blue is almost kind of like this blue violet here, you know, a little bit lighter than that. It's a cross between this blue and this blue violet. Right? So also too, I think sometimes I go a little too much with the dots. We're going to try going with fewer dots and fade it out from there and see how that works out. All right. So let's get the colors out we want to use. Get the blue. Get the red. We'll get the yellow and the white. I had thought about maybe using this, what is this here? This buff. And that might be a good, let's take this out so we'll experiment a little bit. That might be good also to help tone down and maybe not as being as stark as the white. So, okay. I'm going to break out the cradle here too because this car doesn't want to stand up on its own. So we have to move the engine out of there that I was working on. Move this over. And put the car on the cradle. There we go. What do you think? That's a little better. All right. Let's take a drink. Let's take a look and see who's on right now. We have Steve, obviously. Steve and John. And Ray. Hey, Ray, how are you? Happy Saturday to you too, sir. And let's see what else. Are you missing anybody? We have a bunch of people watching, but Just a few people chatting. So if you guys want to say hi, say hi. Otherwise, we'll get started. So let's start out with the blue and red because we want to get our little bit of our violet, the blue violet color. So give this little spin on the spin here. Red too. A little shot in the white a little bit. Okay. Anyway, so let's experiment on one part of the card before we go crazy on it. So we'll start maybe in the middle, right here. Put a couple of blue dots on each one, maybe 3. Let's go with the red. Just 2 dots of red. And let's go in with the little bit of white. I want to take a little bit of red off there. This red went a little too heavy. Yeah, so Paul texted me before, and he showed me he picked up a color wheel, so now Paul could follow along when he watches this on replay, because this is, I'm sure this is early morning for him right now. Put a little white. So he's drawing the color wheel crowd. And maybe one spot of yellow. All right, let's get that. Get a brush and we'll start blending that in. Let's use this brush right here. If you guys looking for a cheap color wheel, go right on Amazon. It's right bought mine. You can pay less than $5 for a US. So we can spread over what we got onto the next panels, maybe just a little bit. That's actually working pretty good. Good educated guess on what colors we're going to start with. Clean the brush off a little bit. Just wipe it off so we can wipe away a little bit more of this paint that we got on here. Remember, you got to keep working it for a little bit. Let's take a look at our progress here. So we can see it's already faded. All right. So the darker colors have muted out the reddish brown. The lighter colors are bringing out the fade a little bit. That's not bad. All right, and that's pretty quick. That one went pretty quick. So I think we got a good combination there. So we're going to stick with that. Let's get another brush and just blend a little bit more. Especially want to get some of this off the white from the logo and the lettering. look. Let's get some light up here a little bit, a little higher up with the light. I think that's pretty noticeable right off the bat here. Adjust some of the light. So you can see right over here, it's still the original color. This is where we've done the fade, and over here is still original color. So I think we're on the right track. We did a pretty good educated guess, and let's continue on the side of this car. So we're gonna go back. Again, we started with the blue. So I think our little formula was 3 dots of blue, 2 dots of red, 2 dots of yellow, and 1 dot of white. And that's what worked out for us. So let's continue on with that. So let's go 1, 2. That's a little heavy, so we'll go a little less. Dip it in one more time. Let's get our red. Wipe a little bit of excess off there. 2 dots of red. That's a little heavy. It's all right. Got to be delicate around these ladders and grab irons. You know, this is a tangent kit. So last week we were doing that Walther's mainline, and those are all molded on, so you could be a little more rough around those. Got to be more delicate around these details here. So let's get our yellow. Dundas Junction. Thank you for joining up tonight. Glad to see you. Glad to see everybody here. All right. Give it 2 dots of yellow. And we're just being random with that. Doesn't have to be in any certain spots. Let's give another dip. And the white. 1 dot of white. All right. Let's get our original brush back. Gonna work on the left side first. I'm gonna be careful around these grabs. So I was watching Paul a little bit before I came on. He didn't realize that I had switched to. He forgot I switched to 8 o'clock. So he's live right now too. But I watched a little bit of his live stream. He was talking about the big show up there in Rochester at RIT, and he said it's pretty well attended. He got some really good deals. He was showing off some of the stuff that he got. It was pretty cool. I just wish it wasn't so far away from me. because between that and the Syracuse show, that's another big show that they have up there, and I would love to go up to those shows and just check them out. This one's pretty red. I have to add some more color to that. Oops, let's give it a dot of blue. I don't know how I got so much red on this one. All right, let's work that in. I guess he's working on some kind of kid bash tonight. So I don't know if Paul's going to be doing Saturdays from here on out, or this was just a one-off. But we'll see. I can adjust my time. He'll work with me on this. So I even had thought about pushing this back to 9 o'clock tonight. Would have been kind of late notice for everybody, but we said, no, keep it at 8. Whoever watches his will watch his. Whoever watches mine will watch mine. Oops, what's going on here? Gotta really kind of push the brush into this ladder here to get that paint that's in the back there. All right, let's clean this off a little bit. Get some more, wipe some more away. Then we'll get to the second brush and go back with the second brush and wipe even more away. Let's get the other brush. And you can see that cleans it up really nice. Because the first brush is pretty full of paint, so even though I wipe some of it away, it's still, you need that second clean brush to get more of the stuff off there. So. See, look at that brake line that's coming loose here a little bit. So you got to be careful with these cars. Very delicate. It's looking good. Well, somebody was teasing me during the past week. I don't know, we were talking about, I'm trying to remember, because I'm on a few different calls all week, different railroad, train related calls. And somebody was saying, I'm going to run out of cars eventually to weather if I don't keep buying some. I got quite a few cars I still can weather, but you got me to thinking. I almost thought about maybe I can offer if anybody wants to have a car weather, if you want to send it to me and I'll weather it on the stream. And send it back to you with a slight little fee for materials. And the car will be famous for being on the live stream. Well, I don't know how famous it'll be. But, we have been getting some good views. Some of the shorts are going close to 2,000 views in a week, which is okay for a new channel like this. All right, let's take a look. So I think that's looking pretty good. I mean, compared to the other side, the other side's still the shiny factory paint. And over here we got a nice fade going. And the lettering is faded out a little bit. So I think that's a good color combination. Again, the color wheel is your friend. Right? If you're not sure and you don't have that stuff memorized, you just refer back to the color wheel. And it'll guide you what you need to do as far as your color combinations. All right, let's switch to the other side. Right. So repeat the process. We're just going to clean the brushes off a little bit. Give a good wipe on the paper towels. All right. Let's have a little drink here. And cheers, guys. Happy Saturday. I will be doing a car for Paul Caesar, our friend from Australia, Ray's companion for the co-host for the Around the Layout podcast, producer. I have his car here. I'm thinking on doing that either late December, just before the New Year, or just after the New Year, because I want to bring it up to Springfield to give to Ray. So when he takes his trip down to Australia, he can bring it to Paul. So I do have a car that I'll be doing for somebody else. So again, I'm really thinking about it. If you have something that you want to get weathered and you want it done live on here, let me know. Contact me via the channel, or you can, if you're friends with me on Facebook, send me a DM, and we'll talk about it. All right, so we got the second side of the car. Excuse me, I'm burping up Portuguese food and beer here. That's some very good Portuguese food. It's left over from yesterday, but it's good yesterday and it's even better today. So, all right. So start with the blue. We'll work 4 or 5 panels at a time. That's the way to go. Don't try to play with too much at one time. Two just to cover up the pencil. That's red. And we said 2 dots of red. Try to stay consistent. They don't have to be too consistent, because there's various spots in the car. It's going to be weathered a little differently, depending on how the weather hit it. All right, 2 dots of yellow. And we just got to get the white. A good dot of white on each panel. So this is probably the most time-consuming thing you're going to be doing. Anytime you do your weathering, it's going to be these fades. Like I said, you don't have to do a fade each time, but you want to vary it up a little bit. Well, I forgot to show you. I was just take a second here. This is one of the cars I picked up in Edison, and I was experimenting with the silver, and I put some of that, where is it, neutral wash on it. And what it did was nice. It gave it a nice little fade on the silver, and it left a little bit of what could be described as some grime behind. So it's very faint. I don't know if you can really see it here. You might see it more on the top. But I figured let me experiment with this car before I do anything with the live stream with using that. I think it was pretty good. So we might play around with more with that on that car. So all right, so let me get my brush here. All right, so we're gonna work these in. So the next big show that's going to be coming up, and I don't know how many of you guys live close enough to go, is the Amherst Society show in Springfield, Massachusetts. And it's the show I live for, that I've been going to for close to 30 years now. Only missed it a few times, and obviously last year was my newest and littlest granddaughter was born, and she was born right on a weekend, so I missed it. And I'm only going to be there for half the time this year because her birthday is going to fall on the weekend of the show, on that Sunday. So I'm going to be spending Friday, all day Saturday, and then I'll be leaving very early Sunday morning to go home, to come home to my little princess, so her first birthday. But I'm definitely going to be there this year. So if you guys are planning on going, and you want to meet up and see me in person, and talk weathering or talk trains or hang out or whatever you want to do, I will be helping out with the short line hobbies table in the Better Living Center. We used to be in the Mallory building all the time. Last year was the first year that my friend Tom was in the Better Living Center. And we'll be over there. And he used to sell a lot of trains and parts and stuff like that. Now he's just down and doing photos and slides. But, I've been helping him out at his table. And he'll be wandering around too. So I'm going to stop and say hi. And I'll be there. I'm probably going to try to hang out a little bit by Ray. Maybe give Ray a little bit of company if Ray wants company. You might tell me, yeah, get the hell out of here. You're taking up my space. No, Ray wouldn't do that. But, Ray's going to be there. So I'm looking forward to seeing Ray and hanging out a little bit. All my buddies from the Penn Central Society and the Torrington Model Railroad Club. A lot of friends that are in that club that will be hanging out up there. So hopefully I'll be hanging around them too. That's the fun part of any show, whether it's a RPM or one of these big train shows, is getting to see people you don't get to see all the time, that you might only see once a year. Like some people I only see once a year. My friend Tom. Tom used to live in New Jersey, so I used to see him almost every weekend or every other weekend. Then when he retired, he packed up and moved out to Reno, Nevada. So I only see Tom once a year now. It's when he flies out and does the show with our friend Tim Moses, who is his partner in short line. And that's it. So I get to hang out with Tom, some of my other friends, and a bunch of us will go to Student Prince on Friday night, get some German food and beer, and then go to Theodore's Booze and Art Barbecue right after that to watch some really good blues bands and drink. And then the next night was just all barbecue and blues. We'll go hang out in Theodore's on Saturday night. And then I'll go home early Sunday morning so I can make it home in time for my little sweetheart's birthday, my little granddaughter. All right, so there you go. Let's take a look at this. Look at our progress. So you can see this is doled out and faded very nice. We've got a good fade going on tonight. All right, I might hit it with the sponge a little bit just to clean up the lettering there a little bit. I don't want the lettering as dark. And then we're going to move on to the next 5 panels, and then we'll finish up the last ones. Then we'll go to the ends, and then we'll go back and do a little bit of washes. I don't think we're going to do too much with a wash tonight. Want just enough on there that we can get the grind with the pigments on the bottom. Let's grab a sponge here. I just want to clean the lettering up a little bit. I don't want to take too much away. But the pen's looking a little bit reddish. I don't want that. Just clean it up a little bit. Awesome. I brought the lettering back a little bit. All right, so let's move on. I had to hit the paint stirrer a little bit. Some of this might have settled in the time that you can see it. So what's new with everybody else? Anything got going on exciting to share with the group? Outline projects. So I did the red, I did yellow, let's do blue. Then let's just have to do the white. White. Oops, sorry. It's the first time I hit the camera today. All right. So again, I know this is all repetitive, but I'm going to do 3 dots of blue. 2 dots of red, 2 dots of yellow. And like I said, this seems to be a good combination for us tonight. All right. Get some yellow in there. Two dots of yellow. Put one in between. And some white. Mark it in again with the brush. I'm really rubbing it in there too. I don't know if I told you that. We're not going light. We're going up and down with this and working it in. Kind of blending all that paint together. Making sure we get the ribs too. Move some over here. Just keep working it in. You don't want to see any one color dominating. All right. Once you got it all blended together, it should look like a faded brown. Let's wipe some of this excess off the brush. Let's get the wide brush. Make sure that's dry. And work some of this in again. progressing along very nicely. All right. Again, we're going to go back with the sponge just a little bit. Nope, second time with this camera. Sorry about that, guys. We want to clean up where the white lettering is and on the logo here. So I don't want to obscure any of the information, car information that's on the side here. But we don't want to take away so much that we lose our fade too. Okay, so you can see over 2/3 of the car done. A little bit left to do over here. We'll go on to the ends. Go back to our blue. Red. Yellow. Again, this is colors that we picked are guided by what we saw on the color wheel. Colors that are all part of that brown that we were trying to match there. And the white. What did I do with the white? Here it is. And again, we got to be careful around that ladder. So let's work over there first. Just kind of push the brush in. Mash that around in there. Clean some of that off. It'll be all right. I think you're. I'm looking forward to the stream tomorrow night, right? That was fun last year. With all those giveaways. It looks like you got more this year than you had last year. It looks like as far as prizes. So man, if there's any reason to be around the layout, operating crew member, yeah, this is the reason to be. Get into that big drawing tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. I told you I'm gonna be doing some multitasking. That'll be on during the Zoom call that we usually do on Sunday night. I'm gonna have the guys slightly muted out, and I'm gonna be listening to see if I hear my name. Winning any good prizes. So we'll see if Chris wins. We'll see if Chris wins any more Z scale cards. $3,200 worth of prizes. That is awesome. I tell you what, man, this is a great hobby. Because even the manufacturers, they give back to the hobby, even though this is their business and they're trying to make money. They always step up. I remember doing the RPM, and Tim Moses, my buddy Tim Moses, used to reach out to the manufacturers, him and Tom Callan, and they were always super generous. So I'm not surprised, man. And you got a good thing going there, right, with the podcast. It's good exposure for them. And I tell you what, it's the best $3 you'll ever spend, guys. If you know around the layup operating crew member, $3 a month, you can't go wrong. Cannot go wrong. All right, just get a little bit more. Let's go back with the sponge a little bit. What did I do with that sponge I got? I'll get a new one. Clean up that logo a little bit. Some of the data is here. I'm going to make sure that's cleaned up so you can see it. All right, another side done. I gotta tell you, when this is done, just doing the fade, it's got that dull effect. It's almost enough to be by itself without doing anything else to it. And I am gonna add a little bit of wash to it. Not a lot, because I just want to have enough to adhere so we run to the bottom. So we're gonna do our ends now. Let's see, how long are we into this right now? There we have about 51 minutes. Parched here. Have a drink. All right. Let's go to our ends. Same color combination. We're going to do our blue, red, yellow, white. Still only 3 dots though, right? Like we'll do the other side at the same time. Red, 2 dots. No Z-scale this year? Poor Chris. How's he going to build his Z-scale empire if he doesn't win any more Z-scale? Yeah, Steve, I'm liking this fade on this gondola. I'm also thinking I got to do something at the inside. I almost forgot about that. So, all right, so we got our 2 dots of red. And it's gray inside. I'm assuming that this is because it's got the lines. I'm assuming that this would have been a wood floor with planking in there, so I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with that. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We might make this a 2-part series like we did last week too. We'll see how much time it takes us to get through the rest of this. Don't like to hold everybody up too long on a Saturday night. We do have lives outside of modeling and YouTube. Although I do spend a lot of time on YouTube, so maybe I don't have a life outside of YouTube. I don't know. Also, I talked to my baby sister today, and I was telling her she didn't know I had a YouTube channel because we were talking about different rabbit holes go down on YouTube. So I don't know, maybe she's like secretly tuned in. I got 7 people watching. Maybe she's watching it. We'll see. Oh, I need to wait now. Let's see. All right. Yeah, they're gonna have to fade the inside of these panels too. Didn't think about that. All right, let's get this shot of white on each end. Because it's a wider panel, so we go a little bit more. Instead of 1 dot of white, we go 2. Let's work that in. All right, so instead of go open, and again, we're not doing a wash, so we're not worried about going up and down. You know, we can go back and forth, up and down, whatever, because we have these ridges in on the end here. Might want to go side to side or up and down with the car sideways here, just to get that worked in there. So. So Ray, is it a 6 o'clock start time tomorrow or a 7? I don't remember for the giveaway, or if you're still with me here. Let's get that oil brush here. 6 p.m. Awesome. So it means I can watch for 2 hours before the Zoom starts. Then I'll just put the Zoom on in the background. Be watching for my name on the wheel of names, or wheel of names. All right. And we do have a little bit of lettering on the end here, so I just want to clean that up a little bit. Just where that's at. So I want that to be visible. Okay, cool. Let's give it a spin. First side, first end, second side, second end. Perfect. All right, so we almost forgot about the inside. Let's get the inside done. And that'll be quick. I'll just put the dots randomly all the way around. Work my way around. I'm just going down the car. Dip. Come on. Drops on this end. Let's go down the side. Go to the red. So Ray, I gotta commiserate with Don Harris. Tom Jacobs was sending me something from Pennsylvania, and he sent it out, and he got to New Jersey, and then he made a U-turn and started heading right back to him in Pennsylvania. And I got that screenshot of the tracking. So I was telling everybody I got Don Iris today with my package coming from Tom Jacobs from Pennsylvania. It's supposed to be arriving at my house today. It looks like it's heading right back to his post office. So we don't know what happened. But then he contacted me later in the day. He said, no, it looks like it's heading back to New Jersey again. So who knows? Maybe whoever was working at Florida post office got transferred up here and causing problems up here now. Who knows? What guy doesn't like you? Who, Don or Tom? So we got the red, we got the blue, we need the yellow. Everybody likes you, Ray. Everybody except for maybe the gnome of the north, and we don't care about him. All right, let's see. Some That's a yellow. And a dip. I just gotta get some white on here. We'll blend this in. Which reminds me, I gotta tomorrow, if I'm not snowed in tomorrow, because we're supposed to get 3 to 5 inches of snow, I'm supposed to be going to a op session that's going to use the hour 20-minute ride to the op session to listen to the latest Around the Layout podcast with Don, talking ops with Don, because it'd be interesting to hear about remote operations. Because Don and Dave Abley is the only people I know that kind of do that. And it's an interesting concept. I have never dispatched a railroad yet, so I would not offer to try that unless somebody wants their railroad to come to a standstill. I've done operator position where I've copied down orders from the dispatcher, handed them off to crews, but I've never dispatched. I guess one of these days I'll stop being chicken and try it out. I think there's just a lot of voodoo involved with that. Because you get operators like me sometimes that mess everything up. Let's blend all this in and see where we're at. I'm thinking too, probably the inside would have some rust in here. So when we get around to doing some wash and pigments, we might use some of the rust wash and pigments on the inside when we get to that point. Let's put this in. All right. Work this side. Paul, don't worry about it, dude. I got to sit in on yours for a half hour before it started mine. Always enjoy your live feed. I hope you didn't rush off yours to help me out. It's doing okay over here. We got some people. We got people participating. We're working on our Pennsylvania gondola. We're doing our fade, which is taking a while because this car is kind of large, and we actually have to do the inside panels too. So hopefully your stream went really well, and we're going to coordinate better next time. If you're gonna do Saturday nights, I can push back to 9 o'clock, maybe, you know. I try not to go more than an hour, 20 minutes, hour and a half. So if I don't get to a point I want to finish up on this one, I'll make a second part of this live stream for later in the week. Definitely not tomorrow. Last week I did it and it finished up on Sunday, but I think I'll do this midweek maybe. We'll see. All right, so you can see the inside now. It's got the fade going. Got a little bit of blue and red here. I'm gonna mix in there. All right. Brush them out. Just a little bit of brown going on that wood. Let's give it a spin. Review what we did. We did our dots. We checked out the color wheel and figured out the colors that are going to complement this car was going to be blue, like a violet blue, which the red and the blue together kind of took care of that. With some yellow, because there's some yellow in green being the opposite of red and opposite of this brown when you looked on the color wheel. And we did a little white to help with the fade, to make it a lighter shade. So went back and touched up a little bit with the sponge. And this car is looking very good, considering we haven't done anything yet with the pigments and the washes yet. So, let's see, we are at 67 minutes. We'll go another 10 minutes and then we'll stop. We can pick up another day. So I'm thinking about what am I going to do with the floor here? Obviously, I don't know if these gondolas came with a wood floor that was painted gray. I would think more you'd want something under the washed out brown, grayish, or maybe a creosote color. I'm not sure. So let's stick around and see what we got. Maybe we can use for the inside here. And thinking maybe, well, hey, because this is the wash we're going to use later on with the car. Again, it's a brown car, brownish, reddish color. And any reds, browns, boxcar reds, Tuscans, stuff like that. I like to use the dark brown for wash for green vehicles. Anything yellows, oranges, things like that, then we'll use the dark brown for yellow. All right. So let's give this a shake up. We're going to do the bottom of the car. I'm going to go wash it this and see what happens to it. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. If it doesn't come out right, we can always do something else with it. All right. Oh, I got you. Your brother's birthday's on Monday. I got it. All right. All right. Happy birthday to your brother. All right. So let's bring this out here. Make sure it's still in the camera. It is. All right. Dip right in the bottle. Give it a brush. This brown wash. Put it on kind of heavy. Let it dry. Yeah, it's funny because I was getting everything set up on YouTube and I said, well, let me see what's going on while I'm waiting for my time to start. And I saw you on. I'm like, whoa. Then I'm thinking, I said, remember that one week I thought it was, I don't know what day I thought it was. I'm like, it was a Monday and I thought it was a different day. And why is Paul on tonight? Why is Dennis saying he's going on tonight? And then I realized it was Monday. So I almost was second guessing myself today, thinking, hey, is it Monday again? Do I have the wrong day? But no, it's all right. It's cool. Yes, Ted from YouTube, from Saturday Night Live, weathering, said, "Happy birthday." I just blend this in a little bit more here. Actually, it's not bad. I think once this dries, it should look better. Maybe I'll blend it with the sponge a little bit too, very lightly. I toned down that light gray, or that medium gray that was painted in there nicely. All right, we'll let that dry. All right, let's look at our car again. So a lot of this oil's had a chance to dry. It's not coming off on my fingers anymore as I touch it. It's looking pretty good. All right, just have to clean up the inside of this inside wall here. Smear a little bit of the wash in there. All right, see. Anybody have any questions about what we did so far tonight? It's pretty much outside of the different color combinations to get the fade. It's pretty much what we do every week. Just letting the color wheel dictate what we're going to do far as the fade goes and what colors we're going to use and stuff like that. I can almost let this car just go like this, and I would say this is looking pretty good. I think the only thing I could really add to it, outside of doing the trucks, and we haven't gotten the trucks yet, is maybe a little bit of grime along the bottom. So yeah, let's see. I'm gonna sit back and think about this for a second. I don't know if I want to go any further tonight or pick this up again another night. How you guys doing for time? You want to stick around a little bit, or you want to? We'll call it for tonight, and then come back and revisit this. I'm thinking maybe Wednesday. I know Heath has his thing on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, but I'd probably come a little earlier. I'm not sure yet. Don't know if I want to do tomorrow again. I got a few things. In fact, I'm not going to be home tomorrow. I'm going to be in an op session, unless it snows really hard. I got to see how the streets are, if they're all cleaned up or not enough to go tomorrow or not. Otherwise, I'll be stuck home. Yeah. Yep. I think we're gonna call it for now. All right. I want to let the inside dry a little bit. In fact, because I want to add a little bit of the pigments in there, make it a little dirty. And then maybe I'll do that now real quick while it's still a little damp. And then we'll pick this up because I still want to do the trucks and a little bit of a little bit of a wash, but not a lot. So I don't want the wash to overpower the fade on this. So like I said, the fade came out really nice tonight. Sometimes it's hit and miss. Just drop a little bit of this Russian mix of Russian earth and dark earth in here. Just dirty up the floor a little bit. I don't know if you guys have tuned into Heath. That's like my head spinning by the end of the night after I've watched his live feed. It's fun in a way. Sometimes it's like, what the WTF? What the hell am I watching? But he's good at what he does. You know, somebody said this kind of his shtick, acting the way he does on the live feed. So, all right, let's push this off to the side. Shake this back and forth a little bit. Screw it in the bottom. We got some dirt in the bottom, so. All right, so not bad. I'm happy with the progress so far. And I think we're gonna call it on that. If anybody's got anything they want to ask or any comments. But I'm really liking this. This is really the first Tuscan car that I've done a fade on. I'm trying to remember, did I do a fade on any other ones? I don't think I have. The other ones I've just done the washes and the grime. But I'm really happy with this fade. One of the things I've been kicking around as part of the weathering effort, especially on gondolas, and you guys, most of you know, you look at some of these gondolas that have been in service for a while. They got dents in them, creases in the side, and I know there's certain ways to do that, but you know, you got a $50 car, $60 car, it's almost hard to bring yourself to do something like that. But I'm gonna maybe experiment with some of my cheaper gondolas, and then see how that goes. I've seen some tangent cars that people have done, especially some of the Penn Central cars and stuff, that they've put the dents and stuff in it and rested them up, and it really cool looking, you know. But all right, so we're gonna leave this at this for now. It's been about hour and 20 minutes, looks like. Like I said, I will either do a short video during the week and post it, finishing up the car. Or if I'm going to go live, I'll let you guys know ahead of time. I'm going to go live and finish it up, and then we'll see. We'll play it from there. Anyway, again, thank you for joining me on a Saturday night. Um, as always, you've got better things to do sometimes on a Saturday night. You chose to spend the time with me, and I really appreciate that. I've really been finding myself really looking forward to doing this every week. It's getting me down into the basement and doing some modeling stuff, and that's the whole purpose of this hobby, is to participate in and do stuff. So I'm really happy with that. I really thank you guys for showing up, and thank you for being with me. And I'll catch you either during the week or next week on Saturday Night Live Weathering. Catch you later.